The Electro Harmonix Holy Stain is a great dual effect pedal with a versatile dirt section on the right and a weird collection of two different reverbs, a pitch shifter and a tremolo on the left. Only one of these effects on the left side can be picked at a time, and you only have controls over the mix and amount. These effects are in traditional order, which means the dirt is before the others. But what if we could reverse the order, so that the reverbs or modulation clashes into the fuzz? Well, you can modify this pedal, like I did. I basically added a switch which reverses the order of those two effects. Based on what I could find online about this pedal, the fuzz circuit ends at the tone pot before entering the modulation circuit. To do this modification, you need a few things, like some wire, heat shrinking tube and a 3-point double throw or a 3PDT switch, whether that's a foot switch or a toggle switch like I used. Besides these components that are gonna be inside the pedal, you also need tools like a soldering iron, desoldering pump or braid, a drill, wrenches, screwdrivers, a knife and pliers. First you've got to remove the back plate, all of the knobs on the pots and the nuts around the pots, jacks and foot switches. Now you can remove the PCBs from the enclosure. Mine was quite a tight fit, so it can be quite a challenge to remove it. Next you have to desolder the tone potentiometer, or more specifically, the middle leg of the tone pot has to come off the PCB. The signal coming from this pot's leg is the output of the fuzz circuit, and the hole in the PCB is the input of the modulation circuit. Next we'll focus on the PCB with the bypass foot switch and the ribbon cable connecting both PCBs. On this cable you have to cut loose both the second cable from the top and the second cable from the bottom from the rest of the ribbon. Be careful not to cut the copper wire inside the plastic, just a thin plastic in between those cables. You also have to desolder these two cables from the foot switch PCB. The hole second from the top is connected to the pedal's input jack, the second from the bottom to the output jack. The desoldered ribbon cables are the fuzz's input and modulation's output. Now let's focus on the switch. It should be connected like this. First make 3 wire bridges between the lugs before connecting it to the rest of the pedal. For the other 6 connections, make sure that you have enough wire length and use heat shrinking tube on ends whenever you can to prevent a short circuit. When this is finished, you can test your product with cables connected, but please be careful with it. Now the switch needs to place in the enclosure. I've drilled a hole next to the output jack for this. It's around the same place where the expression jack is on the other side. When you've got a foot switch instead of a toggle switch, there's space for it besides the mode foot switch. You can start assembling the pedal now, starting with the big PCB, followed by the other switches. So this is how you add the reverse order switch, but how does it sound? So this is the dry sound with the Holy Stain bypassed. I've got a Grammatico LG M-Sim hooked up in the Line 6 HX Stomp with a stock 1x12 cabinet. And this is just a fuzz of the Holy Stain. Let's take a moment to realize how versatile this fuzz is, because it cleans up really nicely when you turn down the volume, and you've got this color knob which changes the character of the fuzz. And the tone knob always works in conjunction with the color knob. Now the volume is completely turned up on my guitar. So that's just the fuzz side. Now let's add in the room reverb. And this is just a stock setting, so you can see it with the toggle switches on the upwards position. So this is the fuzz going into the room reverb. If we switch that around, completely different sonic experience when you switch the effects around. Now with the whole reverb, it's even wilder. The reverb trails are really long. So yeah, really cool. So this is just a stock setting. And now it's reversed. Now let's go to the pitch shifter. So this pitch shifter is kind of funny. It's a completely stepless, so you can change the amount with the expression pedal as well, so you can turn it in, kind of into a whammy. So that's really cool. So this is the pitch shifter going into the fuzz, now the other way around. So this is the stock setting. Now reversed. So yeah, you get some baritone type guitar sounds. You can also do a doubling or detuning. So this is the pitch shifting going into the fuzz. Now the other way around, fuzz going into the pitch shifter. Okay, let's go to the tremolo. This is a stock setting. Now the other way around. So with the tremolo going into the fuzz, it kind of modulates the gain on the fuzz instead of the volume after it. Thanks for watching, and I hope that it inspires you to mod your Holy Stain as well. As always, if you have any questions, you can ask them in the comment section.